This is our cafe.
Working here is not possible at all, no? It's small.
For years, I've been the black sheep of the family. It feels like I disappointed them again.
The loud banging on the apartment door echoed through the narrow hallway just after sunrise. Jenny Slatton froze in the kitchen, the coffee mug trembling in her hands. Sumit's rushed from the bedroom, still half asleep, confusion covering his face. "Who is knocking this early?" Jenny whispered nervously. Before Sumit could answer, another aggressive knock rattled the wooden frame. "Open the door! Delhi police!" Jenny's heart nearly stopped. Sumit's face lost all color instantly. For several seconds he stood motionless, staring toward the entrance as if his entire world had suddenly collapsed. "Sumit," Jenny said slowly, "why are the police here?" I don't know," he stammered. But the fear in his eyes told a completely different story. The knocking became louder. "Open the door now!" Sumit slowly walked forward and unlocked the door with shaking hands. The moment it opened, 3 officers pushed inside. One officer held a folder thick with financial documents, while another scanned the apartment carefully. "Sumit's?" the lead officer asked coldly. "Yes." "You are under investigation for financial fraud, unpaid business loans, and debt concealment totaling approximately $280,000. Jenny gasped loudly. "What?" she screamed. "That has to be a mistake." The officer ignored her and continued speaking directly to Sumit. "You failed to appear at multiple financial hearings. Complaints were filed by lenders and business investors." Jenny turned towards Sumit in disbelief. "Investors? Loans? What are they talking about?" Sumit could barely look at her. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" Jenny shouted. "They're saying you owe almost $300,000. One officer placed several photographs on the table. Images of luxury electronics, business contracts, wire transfers, and screenshots of online transactions covered the surface. Jenny stared at them helplessly. "You told me we were struggling because of family problems," she whispered. "You said your parents stopped helping you." Sumit rubbed his forehead anxiously. "I was trying to fix everything before you found out." But it was already too late. The lead officer stepped closer. "Mr. Singh, we also have evidence that you used Jenny Slatton's name in several financial guarantee documents." Jenny's entire body stiffened. "My name?" She snatched one paper from the officer's hand and read it carefully. Her breathing became uneven. At the bottom of the contract was a digital signature with her full legal name. Jenny looked horrified. "I never signed this." The officer nodded slowly. "That is part of the investigation." Jenny turned towards Sumit with tears forming in her eyes. "You forged my signature?" "No, listen to me. You used me. It wasn't supposed to happen like this." The room exploded into chaos. Jenny started crying while officers continued gathering documents around the apartment. One officer opened drawers while another photographed electronic devices. Outside, neighbors had already begun gathering near the doorway, whispering among themselves. Sumit looked trapped. "I can explain everything," he begged. Jenny stepped backward. "For years I defended you, against my family, against the internet, against everyone." "Jenny? And this whole time you were drowning in secret debt?" "I was trying to build something for us." Jenny laughed bitterly through tears. "For us? You forged my name?" One officer finally spoke again. "Mr. Singh, you need to come with us for questioning." The metal handcuffs clicked loudly as they locked around Sumit's wrists. Jenny stared at the cuffs in complete disbelief. This wasn't the life she imagined when she moved to India for love. This wasn't the future she sacrificed everything for. As officers escorted Sumit toward the door, reporters suddenly flooded the hallway. Cameras flashed violently from every direction. "Sumit, did you scam investors? Is Jenny divorcing you? Did you steal her money?" Jenny covered her face immediately. The building exploded with noise. One reporter shouted louder than the others. "Jenny, did you know about the secret debts?" "I don't know anything," she cried. But nobody believed the situation was that simple anymore. As police pushed through the crowd with Sumit in custody, cameras captured every humiliating second. Inside the police vehicle, Sumit finally looked back toward Jenny one last time. She stood frozen near the apartment entrance, tears streaming down her face while reporters surrounded her endlessly. For the first time in years, she looked completely broken. Hours later, the scandal dominated social media. Every entertainment blog posted headlines about the shocking arrest. 90-day Fiancé star Sumit'S arrested. $280,000 debt scandal exposed. Jenny Slatin caught in financial nightmare. Inside the police station, investigators questioned Sumit for nearly 6 hours. They showed him bank records, missing payments, hidden accounts, and testimonies from angry lenders. One investigator leaned across the table. "You lied to everyone around you." Sumit looked exhausted. "I thought I could recover financially before things got worse. But instead you kept borrowing more money." Silence filled the room. Then the investigator dropped another bombshell. "We also discovered transfers linked to a second apartment rented under another woman's name." Sumit's eyes widened instantly. The investigator noticed immediately. "Yes," he said quietly, "we know about her." Meanwhile, Jenny sat alone in a hotel room across the city. Her phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Calls from reporters. Messages from relatives. Notifications from fans. But one email caught her attention. The sender was unknown. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Attached were photographs. Photos of Sumit entering another apartment building late at night. Photos of him with a younger woman. Photos dated only 3 weeks earlier. Jenny covered her mouth in horror. "No." At the bottom of the email was a short message. "He lied to you about more than money." Jenny stared at the pictures for nearly a minute before finally breaking down completely. Everything she believed about her marriage suddenly felt fake. And deep inside the police station, Sumit realized the financial scandal was only the beginning of his nightmare. Jenny sat motionless on the edge of the hotel bed while rain slammed against the windows outside. The photographs were still spread across her lap like pieces of shattered glass. Every image felt worse than the last. Sumit entering another apartment building after midnight. Sumit smiling beside a young woman wearing sunglasses. Sumit carrying shopping bags into the apartment complex. The timestamps burned into Jenny's mind. 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. 5 days ago. Her breathing became shaky again. "For years," she whispered to herself, "I gave this man everything." Her phone rang suddenly. The caller ID showed an American news network. Jenny immediately rejected the call. Then another number appeared. Another reporter. Then another. The scandal had become international overnight. Meanwhile, inside the Delhi police station, Sumit sat across from 2 investigators under harsh fluorescent lights. His shirt was wrinkled and exhaustion covered his face. One officer placed a thick folder on the metal table. "We've gone through your financial history for the last 4 years, the investigator said coldly. Sumit rubbed his cuffed wrists nervously. "You don't understand how fast debt grows in business." "This wasn't business," the investigator replied. "This was deception." The officer opened the folder and revealed multiple loan agreements. "You borrowed from private lenders." "I plan to pay them back." "You borrowed again to cover older loans." Silence. "You used forged income documents." Sumit looked away. "And now," the investigator continued, "we have evidence suggesting you hid assets under another individual's name." Sumit's jaw tightened instantly. The officer noticed, "Who is Priya Malhotra?" Sumit froze completely. The room became silent. The second investigator leaned forward slowly. She rented an apartment connected to financial transfers from your accounts. It's not what you think, Sumit whispered. Then explain. But before Sumit could answer, another officer entered the room carrying a tablet. You need to see this. The tablet displayed breaking entertainment news. Large headlines filled the screen. Jenny Slatton considering divorce after shock scandal. Secret woman linked to Sumit'S finances. 90-day fiancé marriage collapsing. Sumit's face darkened immediately. Jenny spoke to the media? He asked. Not directly, the officer replied, but sources close to her say she's devastated. Sumit leaned back heavily against the chair. For the first time, a genuine panic appeared in his eyes. Across the city, Jenny finally answered a phone call from her daughter, Christina. Mom? Christina's worried voice echoed through the speaker. Are you okay? Jenny burst into tears immediately. No, I'm not. Christina stayed silent for a moment before speaking carefully. You need to come home. Jenny wiped her eyes. I defended him for years, she whispered. Everyone warned me. You loved him. I don't even know who he is anymore. Christina hesitated before asking the question nobody else wanted to say aloud. Did he ever ask you for money? Jenny stared at the photographs again. Yes. How much? A lot over the years. Christina inhaled sharply. Mom, you need a lawyer. The words hit Jenny like a truck. A lawyer. Divorce. Financial fraud. Police investigations. Her marriage was collapsing in real time. Hours later, outside the police station, reporters crowded behind security barriers waiting for updates. Camera crews shouted questions every time an officer walked outside. Then suddenly, the station doors opened. Sumit appeared, escorted by police officers. The media exploded instantly. Sumit! Did you have a secret girlfriend? Where did the money go? Did you forge Jenny's signature? Are you getting divorced? Flashbulbs lit up the night sky continuously. Sumit tried shielding his face, but reporters kept moving closer. Then one question stopped him cold. Is Priya Malhotra your second wife? The crowd went silent for half a second. Sumit looked stunned. Even the officers escorting him exchanged confused glances. What? Sumit snapped angrily. Sources claim you participated in a private commitment ceremony last year. That's a lie. But panic had already spread across his face. Reporters noticed immediately. Inside a nearby car, Jenny watched the entire scene on live television. Her stomach twisted painfully. Second wife? She grabbed the remote quickly and turned up the volume. One entertainment reporter continued speaking dramatically. Online investigators discovered social media photos connecting Sumit's to a woman named Priya Malhotra. Rumors now suggest the relationship may have been hidden from Jenny Slatton for over a year. Jenny's hands began trembling again. No, she whispered. But deep down, doubt had already entered her heart. Suddenly, her hotel room door knocked loudly. Jenny jumped in fear. Who is it? It's hotel management, ma'am. Jenny slowly opened the door. A hotel employee handed her a sealed envelope. This was delivered for you? Who sent it? The employee shook his head. There was no name. Jenny closed the door carefully and stared at the envelope for several seconds before opening it. Inside was a single flash drive. Nothing else. No note. No explanation. Her heart pounded violently. After several nervous moments, she inserted the flash drive into her laptop. A folder appeared instantly. Video files. Jenny clicked the first one. The footage showed Sumit sitting inside another apartment. The same apartment from the photographs. And then the young woman appeared on screen. She wrapped her arms around him while laughing softly. The date stamp showed it was recorded just 10 days earlier, Jenny covered her mouth in shock. Then the video became even worse. The woman looked directly into the camera and smiled. "To our future together," she said. Sumit raised a glass beside her. "To our future." Jenny's world shattered completely. Tears rolled silently down her cheeks as the video continued playing. Then suddenly another voice behind the camera asked a horrifying question. "What about Jenny?" Sumit sighed heavily before answering. "She'll never leave India. She still believes everything I tell her." Jenny immediately slammed the laptop shut. Her entire body shook with rage and heartbreak. For several seconds, she couldn't breathe. Then finally, with tears streaming down her face, she picked up her phone and searched for one thing: top divorce attorneys in Delhi. At the exact same moment, inside a police transport vehicle moving through the crowded streets, Sumit received devastating news from his lawyer. "Jenny contacted legal counsel tonight." Sumit's face went pale. "No. She may also cooperate with investigators." Everything around him suddenly felt like it was collapsing. His secrets, his marriage, his public image. And somewhere in the darkness of Delhi, another woman connected to the scandal was preparing to speak publicly for the very first time. Thank you, guys.